So what we're going to do next is a values line, and this is going to be related to the idea around power. So what I'd like you to do is just think to yourself for a second. You're going to come and stand with your back kind of along the blackboard here, all facing in this direction, but we're going to pretend that there's a continuum or a line along here. And so if you think that power is a good thing, you're going to stand down towards this end of the continuum. And if you think power is not a good thing, it's a bad thing, you're going to stand somewhere on this end of the continuum. But remember, it is a continuum, so you can stand wherever you feel you fit, somewhere along that line. And when we're done, we have to make sure that everybody fits in one line, shoulder to shoulder, facing this way. Okay? So don't worry about where your friends go. Just think to yourself, power is a bad thing, power is a good thing. Ready? Go ahead. Okay, and then just kind of let each other fit in so that we all fit on the line. Excellent, so squeeze down, great. So down here we have power is bad and good, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to fold the line in half. So starting down here, I'm going to have you just come along and follow along behind. And you're just going to match up with the person ahead. Maybe give them a high five so that you know who your partner is and that we don't miss anyone. Down, down. Okay, great. And we've got an odd number here. So I'm going to have you work here together, okay, as a group. So here we have two lines. This line here with your back against the wall, you're going to be line A. And this line over here, you're going to be called line B. Okay, and you'll see why that's important later. So starting down here, just line A, you're going to number off from here, starting with number 1.
1, 2,
3, 4, 5,
6, 7,
8.
Okay. So, and we're going to just hold it at 8 because you're going to be together. So you'll be 8s together, okay? And if you want to shift down, you have 2 partners. Yes, you're a team. All right, so this is line A and this is line B, so you're going to keep that in mind. So what I'd like you to do is you stood somewhere on that line because you believed whatever it was you thought about power, right? Good or bad. What we have to keep in mind is down at the very end, what do we have? We've got 2 people with what in terms of their views? Right, opposite views, right? And that's okay, right? It's good to know what your values are and what you stand up for. So we're going to have people with really different views at that end and maybe very similar at this end because you were kind of in the middle of that line. So what I want you to just think about when you're talking to your partner, because in a second here you're going to tell your partner why you stood where you stood on the line. You're going to have a chance to say that. I really want the other person to listen respectfully to what that person is saying because your views might be very different. So you're going to have to try to not interrupt the person, just listen to them and hear them out, and then you'll get a chance to say your point. So it's not a conversation really, it's just saying why you stood where you stood, and then the other person gets to say why they stood where they stood, and that's it. Okay? So let's have line A go first. You're going to tell your partner why you stood where you stood. When you're done, you're going to say pass, then line B, you get your opportunity. Ready? Go.
Okay, well, I think power can be a good thing. The good thing about power is that if you're in charge, you have to take down
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. I think you both had a pretty good chance to talk about it. So just out of curiosity, is there any pair that would like to share with us what you talked about? Like what came out in your discussion there? Okay, here.
We talked about how power is we stood in the middle because power can be a good or a bad thing. if used properly, because if power is in the right control and it's spread amongst people, or even if it's just given to the one person who will use it for the good of others, then it will be power is a great thing. However, if you use it against someone, or if people use it for selfish reasons, it can be a terrible thing. So.
Great. So you kind of saw really both sides of power there, where it can, because it can be good, right, in certain situations, but it can also be to the point where it's being used in an abusive way if it's used incorrectly. That's great. Thank you. What about number? Who was number 4? Who had number 4? Hi. Ladies, would you like to share what you talked about in your discussion? If one of you could kind of sum it up a little bit.
We kind of had the same point of view in a way, because we both thought that power is a good thing, but if used in the wrong way, it's a bad thing.
Great, great. So kind of tacking on to this discussion here. Did any group have anything really different? I was wondering down at the end. Okay, what did you discuss down there?
Well, I didn't want to apply power to people itself. I didn't want to throw in all these what-if situations. I think power itself, if it's just used as an influence, I think there's a lot of good it can be doing. Sure, there might be a negative, but that's a what-if situation, and the people, that's also a what-if. And itself, power, I think that's a good thing. Okay,
great. Do you have an example of when it could be good? Off the top of your head?
A powerful guy, I guess, me.
Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to shift the line and just think again about power in a different way. So A's, you're just going to stay where you are. And B's, what I'm going to have you do is shift 2 places to your right. So you're going to come down all the way to the end. So shift 2 people to your right and count this group as one group. Okay, so you would shift this way. So you're going to come down here. Everybody moves over 2 people. So 1, 2. So you would be here and you would be here. And give your partner a high five so that you all know who you're talking with. Excellent. Okay, so this time I'd like you to think about this question. And again, it's relating to power because that's our whole discussion here. So I want you to think about people in high school around your age. So how do people get power? What do they do, or what makes a person in school have power? Just think to yourself for a minute. Okay, think about people who you think have power in your school. Maybe that's even you. And how did you get that power, or where does that come from? Okay, and this time we're going to let B's speak first. So you're going to speak, and when you're done, give your partner an opportunity to speak. Way you go.